Hey guys, how's it going? Today's turning into a pretty bad, volatile day. Um, yeah, I know I need to clean my porch. Not what this is about.
Lost audio.
Hey, New Mexico, how you doing, buddy? Hey, Radio Nerd One. Good to see you. I don't recognize you. Um, One hot gal. Hi, how are you? Hey guys, I'm watching. We're watching a lot of this Minneapolis stuff. Hey Tuck, how you doing, brother? I just came on here for just a couple of minutes. I know there's some. I'm gonna go back outside, but we're watching a lot of this stuff going on in Minneapolis, and I just wanted to come on here for a minute to try to possibly. No, I watched the video 100 times. That officer murdered the man. He sat on his neck. He shifted his weight around. Hey Bart, good to see you. Um, I know I watched it. I watched it multiple times. It disgusts me, but what I'm watching happening in Minneapolis right now is a volatile situation. And I mean, I'm kind of torn right now. I want everybody involved. I want everybody making phone calls and outraged, and but I also don't want to see this situation explode to where more people are getting injured. So I'm kind of torn here, guys. I I don't know. I don't want to see more people get injured, and if this protesting that's happening in Minneapolis gets much bigger, the police are going to step in, and then people are going to start getting injured. So what I would ask everybody to do is talk to people. Let's let's take a step back. Let's try to calm down. Even though I'd like to see that. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but I'd like to see something done very swiftly about the video I saw. But I don't want to see anybody else get injured or hurt. I don't want to see a lot of violence and a lot of hate. What happened was a what happened was murder. I'm sorry, but that officer murdered that man intentionally. You could see him on the video looking in his eyes, looking at his face, and shifting his weight around on that man's neck even after he went unconscious. That man, that officer, that piece of trash murdered that man intentionally. And I want to see him pay for that. However, I don't want to see other people pay the price. I don't want to see a lot of hostility and violence over it. We need to voice our opinions, which is what a lot of people are doing in Minneapolis right now. We need to make it clear that we've seen what happened and we know and we won't accept it. But please, guys, if you know anybody in that area, if you hear of anybody that's going above and beyond, please try to talk them down just a little bit. We don't need any more violence. We don't need the crowd to give the police an excuse to come in and beat up more people. Please, guys, we gotta stop the violence. Um, right now, we're watching Otto the Watchdog. I'm sorry, I haven't been watching the chat. Oh, Jenny. Um, Here's my question: is there anybody that doesn't know what's going on right now? Is there anybody in here that doesn't know what's going on right now? No name. From what I understand, the FBI is taking over the investigation. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But exactly, Ben. It isn't a white versus black. It's a. I know, no name. I saw. I'm. I'm outraged. I watched that officer in my and intentionally murder that man, but hate and violence and the community, the people getting out of control and causing more violence is not going to solve anything. It's going to make the situation worse than what it already is. Apparently, a lot of people, I see a lot of people are dropping out already, but, and I'm sorry, guys. You know, again, I watched it all happen. I watched it live. I'm disgusted. As far as I'm concerned, it was murder. I'm hoping that they do the right thing. And, you know, I'm sorry, but if it wasn't for the video, it would have been swept under the rug. But since there's a video, I think it's going to get. I think a couple of officers are going to be fed to the wolves, which I'm considering us the wolves. But I don't want to see things get out of control. I don't want to see more people get injured. I don't want to see a crowd that. I don't want to see a SWAT team go into that crowd in Minneapolis and start using tear gas and paintballs and pepper spray, and I just don't want to see people get hurt. It's disgusting that that officer murdered that man. Flat out murdered him, period. But for the people to get out of control and let their emotions take control is not going to do us any good. People need to take a breath, step back, make some phone calls, do some emails, and it sounds like bullshit. I understand that. It sounds like bullshit to me too. But we can't, go after them with violence because of their violence. That just shows that we're no better. Or yes, Gemini 7, this one is going to get very ugly. And the thing is, I mean, we can all see the report in our heads right now. If it wouldn't have been videoed and put on Facebook Live, we all know what the report would have said. Well, it's the original report that started out accidental, medical reasons, blah, 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 resisting. But since we all saw the video and exactly what happened, now they're going to have to modify that. And for their sake, they better do it soon. They better look at that video and say, yeah, our officer was wrong. He did wrong. And they better go after him and punish him. Because otherwise, I'm sorry, but the community is going after every single one of them that wears a badge. And I don't want to see that happen, guys. I mean, I love to run my mouth and say, hey, Blue Lives Murder, and let's, we could do without them and blah, blah, blah. But that's not the case. We all need to step back, calm down a little bit, and just try to realize that giving them an excuse to attack more people is not the way to go. So again, if anybody knows anybody that's there, knows anybody that's doing live and doing, let's try to tone this down a little bit, and instead of going at it guns blazing, let's try to work the system. We all know how to work the system. That's what we do, guys. We all know how to make the phone calls. We all know how to let the people in charge, so to speak, know how we feel, and that's the way we're going to get something done. If we just go off half-cocked and cause riots where they can come in and shoot paintballs and pepper balls and use violence against people and arrest people, that's just going to sweep the issue under the rug, because it's going to become a bigger issue. Oh yeah, a whole bunch of people got arrested for being violent and blah blah blah. Let's not do that, guys. Let's keep the focus where it needs to be. These officers murdered that man. They need to be dealt with swiftly, severely, and that's it. Ben, Ben, I don't know about that. I don't think the color of that man's skin would have mattered. Watching that video, I didn't care what color he was, and I don't think anybody cares what color he was. To watch a black, white, purple, green, red person be done like that, I think would have raised all kinds of this everywhere. Thank you, No Name. I appreciate that. We need it, because, you know, I'm saying this in Elkhart, Indiana. If I was there, I'd probably be throwing glass bottles at every officer I saw. So, you know, but guys, let's just try to disconnect from our emotions just a tiny bit, step back. These cops murdered this man. One murdered him, and 2 or 3 stood by and watched it happen, and one of them even prevented citizens from saving this man's life. So let's do what we do, make our phone calls, send our emails, get on their websites. Let's do what we do and make sure they know that we will not accept this internal investigation found that no wrongdoing was bullshit. Bullshit. Don't let that happen. Well, I get you, Ben. I really do, but I've made 15 phone calls already, and I'm going to make 15 or 20 more. I'm not okay with this, but I also don't want to see a lot more people be injured and hurt because of it. So let's try to talk people down just a little bit. Just because the police used violence against a citizen to kill him, I strongly believe and hope that the citizens won't turn this into a violent situation where the cops can turn it around on us. I'm going to let everybody go now. Again, I'm guessing, I haven't been reading the chat, I've just been babbling, but I'm guessing everybody knows. Actually, Otto the Watchdog is doing some live streams from the protests going on down there right now. Let me show you real quick here. Oh, he's still live? Yeah.
Oh, by the way, they just determined all 3 of them officers have been fired. And the mayor says that's a disgrace.
So guys, that's the only one I know of right now, but go to Otto the Watchdog. And then he's doing live streams from several different people, but Kim just said that they said all 3 officers have been fired. Well, have they been arrested yet? But
No, they haven't been arrested yet, but they've been fired. And the mayor says it's a disgrace.
I know, Ben, but so everybody jump into Auto the Watchdog, and let's try to be the voice of reason in there. We don't need to amp people up to violence. Let's try to calm people down and, do what's right. Don't antagonize violence. Please do not antagonize violence. I appreciate y'all. I love you, and I'll see you soon.